Well, this series of paintings was just started several months ago, and I titled the whole series From Within, because the paintings really do come from within. There isn't any external influence that I can pinpoint. And with the abstract paintings, it's not like you have a frame of reference to guide you. It has to come from within, because it's not like you have a horizon line in a landscape that will help you to form your painting. So that's why I called it From Within. Changed my palette for this series of paintings, and the reason that I did that was I wanted to get into lighter colors, more pastel colors, and a wider variety of colors. I usually work in more earthy tones, so it was just a very enjoyable deviation from what I normally do. Most of my paintings are highly textured, and most of them also have architectural connotations. And I guess the main thing I'm trying to do is to manipulate form with the objective of doing it in unexpected ways, both for myself and the viewer. The application of highly textured surfaces, usually I have to determine where that texture is going to go so that it will work in the composition, because it can't be removed and it can't be moved over, and if it's even an inch off where the composition should be, it winds up on the cutting room floor. So working with textures is always a challenge. The texture goes on first, so there's a lot of predetermination in where the work is going to go. It's been a wonderful experience to have this exhibit with Eva at the Art Gallery of Greater Victoria, and my work can also be seen at the Avenue Gallery in Oak Bay, and they're featuring my landscapes at the Avenue Gallery this month. So I'm just delighted.
Okay, the pictures in this show, they started with an idea from a trip from Oaxaca to Puerto Escondido. My husband and I, we flew in a very small plane, one pilot, no stewardess, and just 6 people on board. We raced the plane, raced literally through a thunderstorm, and the cloud formation was unbelievable. There were colors from every spectrum of the palette. And my husband turned to me and he said, if this is like Dante's Inferno, then I know what that means. And I agreed. And I replied back, do you think I could paint that? And he just said, good luck. So I forgot the idea for a while, or I let it rest or maybe ferment in my head. And then when the show kind of started, I had worked on a canvas and tried to get the idea back of what I felt or what it appeared to be. And so basically I started pushing color around. And when the color spoke to me, I did more painting, and when it didn't work, it had a complete whiteout. So I started again. And that's basically how I attack most of my paintings. Like, it starts with an idea mixed from travels in Europe. Europe is still also in my mind. And then these paintings appear, I think, by magic. And if people like them, so much the better. The inspiration for color really came from travel and appeared basically from the first trip to Mexico, which was about, I would say, 15 years ago. And then later we excluded the cities of Mexico, and I find the color, the freshness, and the originality of Mexico is overwhelming to me. And so color, I like color, as you can see. and very bright colors, colors which are vivid and maybe tell something to the viewer. Yeah, what more can I say to that? That's basically really it. So to get a little bit away from the series of the weather system, this is more or less a painting which I would contribute to Germany, particularly to North Germany, where I was raised. And when we were the last time there, what really struck me as really bizarre or odd was the lack of color, and then these huge church steeples, which really seemed to pierce the sky. But what I did then was incorporated the color of Mexico, the color of that. And I thought, Germany does need a little bit of color. That's how I painted that. Talk a little bit more about color. One of my absolute favorite painters is Mark Roscoe. I saw him the first time at an exhibition in New York, and I couldn't believe it. I was almost moved to tears. He, to me, is a master of color combination. It's much simpler, much more direct, and I cannot copy him, otherwise I would be really tempted to. So mine are more confused, maybe, more irrational, but still, when I paint, often I do think of Mark Roscoe, and I admire his incredible simpleness, but the complication of the combination of color. I really like that.